Hi friends, I'm still here. Hopefully you are too. I know it's been a minute, but I way needed some space for my head. But I hate to let this stuff slip away, and Wolverine is my jam. I just got this sucker. And, sexy new packaging for these guys too. I'm really into this rectangle system here. Comic art on the side, you still got a really nice window. That old packaging style, man, it was all lopsided. I was not a fan. What do you guys think? You into this? Do you hate change? I think it would be rad if they had that SDCC style, like Marvel Superheroes trading cards deco on all of them. Are you guys sick of Wolverine figures? Probably this is the best one yet, right? Anyway, I'm super grateful you're here, and I'm excited to be back here talking toys. Let's do this. Alright, here's dude out of the package, looking pretty clean. He is, of course, James Howlett, mutant with exceptional regenerative qualities, born in the 1800s. Also features razor-sharp claws that are a part of his skeleton, which is coated in a super dense metal.
Wolverine and adamantium rage.
He's also got animal keen senses, but I like to imagine, regular people teeth. Right up front, I'm really liking the look of this figure. It's pretty much all new sculpting. They've done the better articulation scheme here with the diaphragm cut, yada yada. Pinless joints, he's a little bulkier than before, which is fitting for Wolverine, and the chest before was looking kind of flat, they got that covered, but it is a little larger, a little bit of size creep going on if you look at him compared to how weird and disappointing that they gave us that astonishing Cyclops recently, and he's a hair undersized, compared to the other Cyclops figures. It's the same friggin' guy. Anyway, he comes with this really nice unmasked head on. Doesn't necessarily capture like the John Cassidy artwork, you know what I mean, but it's sharp, you get a little stubble in there, and practically every head sculpt they put out now is just like their cleanest, nicest one yet. Got the mutton chops, got that pointy hair cutting off at the back there. It almost, too, it's a good stand-in for like a Steve Dillon artwork. Rest in peace, Preacher, Wolverine Origins. He's not the most dynamic artist, but he could really convey some good expression and emotion, I think, in the faces. Anyway, it's all sculpted here with the seam lines in it and so on. Completely unnecessary, in my opinion, as those are just added depending on the artist, but still really, really freaking cool. People like to act like some silly little affectation of the artist on the book is like key to the look, and that's just how that person draws it. Also, it's endemic of the way that they do comic art now. They can draw the picture as big as they want and then shrink it down to fit that panel, where in years past you would see less detail on these smaller scale overview shots or something, and you still can, but I think of Civil War, Steve McNiven, one of my very favorite comic artists. He was drawing seam lines on everybody's suits, man. The big punch-ups between Cap and Iron Man, those are so good, and it's just all those little details to study, So I don't think it's fair to be like, oh, Astonishing Wolverine has seams on the costume. They all have seams. It's just, where are you drawing them? Is the artist drawing them or not? Is the action figure going to add those to the sculpt? I think it's really cool when they do any kind of extra sculpts, you know what I mean? I don't mean don't do that. Do that. Otherwise they all look like naked, muscular dudes in body paint. I'm sorry, unstable molecules. You mean body paint? Did Charlie Xavier just like body paint them all while they were naked and asleep and just like mind wiped them? It's like unstable molecules. It was Reed Richards. You get that all throughout, down in the pants and everything. We've come back, we've got the more sort of subdued boots like that last Tiger Stripe had, but they've got the little side panels which are sculpted and painted yellow on the gloves there. Been working on my car all morning. It is what it is. And finally too, you get sculpted and painted arm hair that doesn't look too bad. It looks like you just shook out a can of some dust on there, The shoulder pads have been reworked. They're just kind of hooped in there so you can spin those kind of independently. And you can see where they're connected right there. Still got the rockin' butterfly shoulders. This belt here, I feel like that came on the last Astonishing. We'll call that the hot claws, you know what I mean, because it wasn't a true. And we'll look closer at that in a minute. Peg holes on the bottoms of the feet. Not really any tread like there used to be. Not a huge deal. Sure it is, man. Sculpt that all up proper. Everything else about this looks really, really good. He doesn't have the stupid hips, does he? No, it's fine. It's great. They're finally using these sort of heavier, sort of buried claws. Those are looking really good. You get the housings here on the glove, several pairs of hands, and they all feature those as well. Visually, this is really, really nailing it. The blue and the yellow they've chosen to, I think, look really good. Let's swap heads here, because we all want that mask. And that is looking fantastic too. More stubble and those teeth, and just pretty clean paint. You can see some the black gets a little sloppy on that side. Your mileage may vary. You get this little seam there in that, and these little wrinkles. I mean, some flaws here as we are working into the articulation now. It's on a ball. They've taken away the hinge, and they didn't dig a groove there. I might just, take a little X-Acto and just slice a little notch like they've got on the Spider-Man figures. Here we go, stepping back into the visual fidelity thing. This, it technically doesn't necessarily, the yellows don't match perfectly. I think they're just different material. This is a little darker than this shinier plastic. Also, the stripes on the side, they don't need to look crazy. They don't need to look weird like that. And like the one of them is buried under the belt. Whatever you like, but it's like a Hasbro thing where every previous figure has been thrown into garbage and they've wiped everybody's minds so they can't build off of it. Unless they're reusing it. But no, he's great. He's great. The head will twist all the way around, and it doesn't come back far enough. Because of that, gonna cut that notch. Yeah. Butterfly shoulders, too. And these suckers will kick way in. You can get some nice, cross those claws over. Come back quite a ways. This thing will gap out a little, depending. You may have to, twist that around as you go. But the shoulders are socketed in here. You can see that hinge. They will come up past a 90, and they will rotate, because that does not hinder you anymore. Just watch out. You could probably shear it off of there. Bicep cut up here, though. This will rotate. That's pretty nice. You can see there's already some blue paint rub. Double jointed. Like that. Comes up pretty well. We'll twist that around. Twist this in. Hinged wrists. They're all hinged the same way. Good range on those. The claws are, of course, removable. But here we go. The new hotness. He's got the diaphragm cut. And that comes down a pretty good bit, back and to the side, pivots really well, rotates all the way around, of course, and then he's got the ab crunch below that. The belt, where the belt is, it kind of hinders that a little, but you could use those, you use them both in conjunction, and this guy can fold over pretty well. Down here, the legs will come all the way out to the sides. They sort of rotate up, around. You can kick them back if you come out to the side some. Forward, all the way to a 90. You do have the upper thigh cut. Double jointed knee coming in like that. The proportions here, relative to these things being sort of the same length, works pretty well. Wolverine is traditionally a short guy. He still is. This one is taller than ever. The foot will do that, and it'll do that. And you get the ankle rocker, but wait. They've removed the boot cut. Something we've had since 2014 Wolverines. They've taken something away. I think that's of note, that and the disc. But minor, I hate to see that. It's at least they didn't give us like a single piece torso like they're doing for Luke Cage and Doc Ock and other characters, or they make up these excuses. It's fine. We're the ones buying them. He articulates fantastically, better than any Wolverine, but we're missing the frickin' boot cut. Accessories, comes with an extra head and 4 extra hands. So you could have retracted claw housing sculpted on there, looking pretty nice. And you can see the slight in the glove. These are all new hands. They haven't thrown in old Wolverine hands. You even get a pointer so he can change it up a little bit. And some type of grasping or, positioning hand. That's really freaking cool. I like that one. And again, we've looked at these heads. They're both just fantastic representations, I think. Now, they did not give us a doffed cowl, minor. I've got 3 other ones from different. The yellows match close enough. Oh, you can really see how this one is different. Shh. So for a Wolverine, it's hard to be mad about an extra head and multiple hands. Plus, the heads have different sculpts here. You've got the more aggressive masked one, and then not like that last Hot Claws was the opposite. We all know Marvel Legends run a little larger than their rated 1/12 scale. As in, short guy Wolverine rated comic book height of 5'3" should be, just over 5 inches. Instead, he stretches all the way nearly to 6. Bring up the old brown and gold, and you can see that it's a little bigger all around. I really like the bulk and the silhouette, the proportions on the thing. It looks a lot more proper than this, which is not terrible. But don't put him too close to this one. Here's something else. Pop that head. Look how easy these are. Trying to jump my shit for breaking. Really, really ridiculously fragile and overpriced action figures, Diamond. Get out of here. That new Captain America is fire all day. I don't understand what happened with those Invincible figures. How friggin' dare you? I love that stuff. You put the Steve Dillon head on, though, and you can see it's just a little bit big. Even though it fits on there great. Here's the last Astonishing release. Okay, it is not reuse of the belt, which wasn't too terrible. You just had to do just a couple of little kit bashes. Here, swap those pads, maybe the hands. I got some custom claws on there. You can't find a doffed cowl that matches that neon freaking yellow they're using, but you see they got the stripes on the sides, right? And the boots are a little more aggressive. He's got that wet baby deer head thing going. I always hated that one. This just wasn't really sort of era appropriate, but that matches well and it looks really good. And I mean, even, you know, it's all about trying to fudge the colors a little bit. I know that one's got the cell shading, but that's not terrible. And I didn't hate this one. I liked how this darker blue matches that Astonishing Cyclops. And like I said, it's not the right one, but how weird of them to just base it on the black shoulder pads. It's just a cover. 1.5 pages of the interior. I'm sorry that you didn't know that, Hasbro. But interestingly, I just saw a whole pile of these brand new at Target yesterday. Of course, as time would go, and this is 10 years old now, the old one, the later stage soft shoulder Astonishing costume. This is probably like 2010s era, where they all sort of got the little communicators, and Colossus was in there. And I mean, this guy, you want to talk size, man, this guy, he's pretty tall. Here he is next to the 10-year-old soft shoulder variants. And like I said before, I mean, even these on a boot cut, don't take that away. Don't take that away. Think we won't notice. I notice. Hinged head, so you can kick it all the way back. Come on. So here he's with the older Cyclops in that later stage Astonishing getup, as well as the matching Colossus. However, he wouldn't appear again like this until like 2010, the Mike Carey, Matt Fraction stuff. But these suits were evolving over the first few years anyway, from still through Astonishing. And here he is with Scott and Emma from our new wave early era Astonishing figures. Not without their issues, sure, but they look fantastic. And they're better than ever. Better than ever. Never mind, Emma can't move her hands up. She's looking good. Just stand there. Stand there and look pretty. See what I mean about that blue matching, though? Ish. Here he is next to the new hotness, as well as the now 10-year-old Diamond Dick Sabretooth. Just lame. No, it was kind of timely. Cool that we got that. The White Queen from that wave was a myth. Spider-Man and the Hulk. Mezco Wolverine. Mafex Gambit. Here he is next to a couple Marvel Selects. Cap and the Hulk. In that same larger scale from NECA and McFarlane, we have a turtle and a bat. And finally, we got bloody old Hugh and the Marvel Legends. How about a nice cup of Shut the Deadpool Up? All right, end of the day, new Wolverine figure. Updated articulation. It's hitting all the notes, man, but the disc hinge, the lack there, no notch even, and they've stripped away the boot cut. Come on. This does offset that, I guess, having this nicer torso setup, you know. And the overall sculpted proportions, fantastic. The look is really good. Little stuff as it goes, you know. These would come and go. The belt could be yellow sometimes. Things like that. Never mind what I said about the head sculpt earlier, too. It's fantastic. One of their best. You know? I have a really hard time. I love my import figures, man, but what Hasbro puts together when they want to, you know, it's a really, really nice. Paint hits, you know, you're not going to have a lot of detail there. That's just not how they do. I mean, a lot of companies don't. McFarlane, most of their stuff is just black and gray plastic. But at the regular $25 price point here, man, I would highly recommend this figure. This is the nicest Wolverine figure that Hasbro has done. We've got the Scott, the Emma. I really hope we get an updated Kitty, a Colossus with the drooping shoulders, and a freaking new Beast. You know they're working on a new Beast. Come on, don't be out there spending money on that nasty old trashy one. Actually, that don't look too bad. But you know what I mean. This thing can hit some serious poses. Gets way in here. You could put that splayed hand down. You could be like touching the ground, digging this up, looking at you. That head though, come on. I'm a big Wolverine fan, but that generally means I'm a little more picky. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at all the imperfections and all of the weird stuff. And Hasbro does a really good job of hitting all of the different variations, you know, in the form of re-releases. Which, if they're different figures, different iterations and stuff, I'm good with that. You don't have to get them all. I'm gonna probably get them all. But I'll be right here, you know, showing them off for you, so you can decide for yourself if it's gonna be worth your hard-earned money. Yes, I think yes. Thanks again, friends. It's been an ugly road, but if you made it through and you're with me, I really appreciate it. What old Tony Hopkins say in that movie where him and BDT were werewolves?
Never look back, Lawrence. Never look back. The past is a wilderness of horrors.